I firmly believe there is no trade-off in my mind between teaching and research, between rigor and relevance, between substance and style. I believe the foundation of my work starts with research. In fact, my career goal is to make an impact on the world of practice. My career goal is to say when a CEO thinks about 10 top names in strategy and innovation, I should be included in that. But such an aspiration may be there even for a consultant in McKinsey. They want to be known with CEOs. The fundamental comparative advantage we have is we do research. So therefore, I want to do research and develop thought leadership with which I want to speak to the CEOs. That has been my career goal. Therefore, research is really the foundation on which I have built my career. And the questions that have always puzzled me, for which I have devoted my research, is how come innovation is so hard in large companies? I believe only large companies can solve certain problems. The most difficult, the most complex problems can be only solved by big companies with a lot of resources. I'm not just talking about financial resources, but also technological resources. Only a company like General Electric can solve global warming, can solve healthcare, can solve water scarcity, because they have the technological depth to attack these complex, difficult to solve problems. Yet, one finds big companies always struggle to innovate. So the question that always puzzles me is, why is that? And what can we do to help big companies use the resources, which is their advantage, and overcome whatever the problems they may face? I have come to the conclusion, based on research over long periods of time with lots of companies, there are three fundamental traps. And it is these three traps which prevent big companies from innovating. I call these three traps physical trap, psychological trap, and strategic trap. Now, what do they mean? Physical trap simply means companies, large established companies, have so much existing physical infrastructure that they are somehow unwilling to obsolete. Big companies have so much existing investments that they are unwilling to obsolete, which is what would need to bring about the innovation. Take, for instance, Blockbuster. Clearly a very, very successful company with a lot of physical infrastructure. Even when they saw Netflix coming, they just got trapped in their own existing infrastructure and their unwillingness to obsolete their existing investments. The second trap is what I call psychological trap. Psychological trap is in the mindset. Even when you see the innovation in front of you, you are somehow not able to embrace it because your mindset becomes the worst enemy. The best example is Kodak. In the late 70s, Kodak R&D team was the first to come up with a digital camera. So Kodak executives knew how to make and sell a digital camera. The problem was the R&D team, the digital camera that they came up with, the CEO handed over the digital camera to the person running the 3-inch yellow film business and say, make it happen. Now, if you're running the 3-inch yellow box and making tons of money in that business model, your mindset doesn't allow you to see the possibilities and the potential of the digital camera, which has clearly fundamentally different rules and even have the potential to cannibalize your current business. That's the psychological trap. The third is strategic trap. Strategic trap is myopic thinking. When companies go into strategy conversations, they tend to focus only on today's customers, today's technologies, today's competitors. Whereas innovation requires for you to understand tomorrow's customers, tomorrow's technologies, tomorrow's competitors. It is a lot easier for you to understand today's competitors than tomorrow's competitors. This is the classic case of railroad companies. For a long time, they were only considering other railroad companies as their competitors. The things that were flying on top of railroads, they thought that had nothing to do with their business. And the rest is history, as they say. My work in the last 30 years has been to how can large companies overcome physical trap, psychological trap, and strategic trap, so that they can use their resources to really bring about breakthrough innovation. In fact, when you stop to think about it, the barriers to innovation in large companies is not because they don't understand technology. The barriers to innovation is not with the customers. The barriers to innovation exist inside the company itself. It is in the mindset, because the physical trap, psychological trap, and strategic trap are really in the leadership mindset. So therefore, the enemy is not outside these companies. The enemy is inside, and therefore it is infinitely solvable.